There isn't enough time in the day. You have probably heard yourself mutter those words a time or two while at work. Well, newsflash, there's typically plenty of time in a day if you know how to manage it. If not, then you might want to hire these two. Back with us, we have Pete McDowell and Peg Burley from Action Coach Columbus. Always good to have you guys.
Hi, Robin.
Thank you, Robin.
I actually just asked Pete, I said, well, okay, I might need some help because the holidays are coming up. And he goes, tell someone no. And I imagine that's kind of a big tip,
Sorry,
right?
Mom.
Actually, that is a secret.
Right?
It is.
That's
And
a good one.
I feel like you do get that kind of, there's never enough time syndrome, right?
Right,
Everybody
right.
thinks every day
Right.
there's never enough time. Do you guys see that a lot, especially when we're talking about
Oh my
management
goodness,
positions?
all the time. And really it's about self-management, is what do I do with how I spend my day? And you do have to tell someone no occasionally, and it's okay.
It's okay to
Yeah,
say
it is.
Okay, so what do you see when we talk about business owners? What do you see as far as poor time management? What is getting in their way a lot?
Well, I'll start with the story of one business owner that Pete and I work with. We saw that she wanted to increase her sales, and this is for any manager. And we said, okay, can you just write like high-level task? What are you doing? What are you spending your time doing? And as we looked at her tasks the following week, we realized that a lot of what she was spending her time with were important things, and urgent, but not necessarily the most important things. They were things she could be delegating, she could be training, she could hire it out. And we realized that she should really be spending more time marketing, talking. She's a president. She should be
Yeah.
talking to clients, going out and getting new business.
Higher value tasks.
Higher value task, absolutely. And so what we ended up doing is we found some room in her budget. She's going to hire someone. She's going to take all the tasks she knows she shouldn't be doing and then go ahead and then replace that with higher value items. And Pete, you want to describe the skill versus important value?
Peg mentioned a time study. That's a very simple task or simple way to figure out where your time's going.
It's almost like
we
a
all
budget.
are very busy.
I feel like, you know what I mean?
There you
kind of
go.
sit down and talk
It
about
is.
where your money's going.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be complicated. It could just be a sheet of paper on your desk where every half hour or so, put down a couple bullet points about what you've worked on in the last half hour. And then at the end of 2 or 3 weeks, we'll help you with this, is we'll sort the things together and put the common things, the similar things together, and then figure out where your time is going. That's step number one. The second thing is to figure out what is the skill level required to do the task, and then how important is it to the business. So standing by the water cooler talking for more than an hour about the Buckeyes, it's fun, but it may not be the highest value thing for the business, right?
And you could maybe fit that in every couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Once in a
You know,
while, yeah,
right,
but you got to look
occasionally.
at it. And is it tough when you tell people, how to apply these actual, tasks? I feel like, as Peg mentioned, delegating. Somebody who has worked up the ranks, who is used to doing all these things for themselves,
Right.
that can be a very hard thing to do.
Well, and again, it comes back to the comfort zone, right? So we are really good at tasks, right? When we become a manager or a leader or a bigger business owner, we are still comfortable doing some of the operational things, but maybe we shouldn't. And as
Okay.
Peg said, meeting with a fine client of ours or a big prospect, that's where our time should be spent versus doing something that we could delegate to someone else.
And I feel like another thing I want to talk to you about dealing with time management is distractions. We live in a world today
Right.
where distractions are heavy.
Absolutely.
They're always there. Is there kind of a time and a place? Do you still tell people, okay, you can use maybe 10 minutes to talk about the Buckeyes and not
Yeah, sure.
an hour and a half a day?
There's a couple strategies we give. So distractions are probably what really is our biggest issue out there, especially with our cell phones and
Yeah.
everything coming out at us. So keep this in mind. If you get distracted off of a project, it takes you 25 minutes to get on that. So there's some strategies we say for distractions. Number one, a distraction can be interruptions. And we find that when you do that time study, we say, how many of those things were interruptions? Most often it's a lot. Then we say for your next task, write down what the interruptions were. Then we know what to stop, whether we train it,
Okay.
whether we just say no to it.
If you systemize something
systemize
and
it.
showed people how to solve the problem themselves, they won't come to you for the answer every time.
Ah,
We had
gotcha.
a veterinarian a few years ago who was in her hands in an operation, actually working on an animal, and someone came in and asked her how to change the toner in the copier. I mean,
True story.
And that
She was the
that
only one that
happens
knew
all
how
the
to
time.
do
Who
it,
knew how to do it?
unfortunately.
And Peg, you mentioned that you wanted to talk about a leadership conference you have coming up.
So we are doing a leadership, this is our second year to do it. We are creating a class that will start January, in the second week in January, for middle managers. And it's a 2-hour training session once a month. And then 2 weeks after that, it's a follow-up of a coaching session. So for those middle managers that aren't getting the attention and love, and we know what you did to them, you said, you're good at sales, or you're good at this, you're a manager now.
You're promoted, right?
Okay.
So this would be a great class, and we wanted to let you know the price as well, because the time commitment is 2 hours in training and then a half an hour in coaching, so 2.5 hours a month. But and the dollar commitment is $500 a manager per month.
There you go. Easy enough, and obviously they have so much advice, so you're going to get a lot out of that. So give Peg or Pete a call. Phone number there up on screen. So thank you both.
Thank you, Robin.